Nobody cares for you anymore. You're tarnished and you're filthy. Stop it! Stop it! I am not tarnished! Wait! No! Wait!
Welcome back, everybody, to the Harbor. I'm your host, the Kino Cowboy. I'm here with Scott and Casher, like usual. Today, we're talking about Perfect Blue, which is Satoshi Kon's probably most famous, I guess, in the States, or the most that
Most
people
known.
can, the most notable, the most that people can recognize. And I'd like to point out that this film, I think, blew up in the mid 2010s because of Tumblr and
Also Black Swan.
Well, yeah, Black Swan, but like this film has a certain aesthetic to it that was really popular for GIF sets on Tumblr and was reblogged a bunch. I saw when I was active on Tumblr, it was like a big one. People were very much into quote unquote aesthetic movies.
You're acting like you're not keeping Tumblr alive solely by your reblogging.
Dude, I haven't been on Tumblr in years.
Prove it.
I'm just saying this is like one of those Tumblr core movies that like introduced a lot of people to Satoshi Kon. And
why is it because of the at times pastel-ish color palettes and the fact that it's all about parasocial relationships, which Tumblr's all about.
And there's like a lot of these scenes blend like dreamscapes and reality to a point where you can't tell what's real and what's not, or you can tell what is obviously real and what's not. It's got that eerie nightmare world.
There's to be frank with you, a lot of mentally ill people on Tumblr. People with a lot of problems, and I might be one of them. But no, just like
it's a requirement for the site.
I don't know. It's like there's girls like mentally ill, kind of crazy, shit like that. That's why Midsummer blew up. It became like its own little like meme because of that.
We got cute pop idol covered in blood.
Yeah, no, and Perfect Blue has that Y2K kind of late analog aesthetic that was real popular at the time partially because of vaporwave and that kind of aesthetic movement. 2010s were very much like generalizing aesthetics and a lot of style over substance when it comes to what movies would blow up on certain websites. And I think that's why it blew up. It had like a reawakening in the 2010s, I think, because that's what introduced me to him. And then I watched Paprika right afterwards, and then I watched Tokyo Godfathers, and then I watched Millennium Actors, but I still haven't seen Paranoia Agent, so that's what I'm thinking.
Tokyo Godfathers was the first thing I saw from Kon, and that was because it was on Cartoon Network back in the day.
Yeah, I will say like that kind of aesthetic, Cowboy Bebop kind of has a similar sheen to it. It's like that dreamlike, almost like washed out kind of sheen. I don't know. Super vaporwave, if you will.
A lot of 90s anime does that, and that's kind of why that's like all I watch is like 80s and 90s anime. Is because of that. I love that fucking aesthetic.
Yeah, for sure. And for that reason, I think this movie's way ahead of its time in the way that it does deal with parasocial relationships online, especially when a lot of people didn't even have the internet yet at the time.
Mm-hmm.
No, they have to explain to the audience what the internet is.
Yeah. The main character
funny.
doesn't really even understand what it is.
No, this chick's dumb. She's a child trapped in a woman's body because she I don't know. These talent agencies in Japan that create these idols, they'll just pick up girls when they're like 16 or something.
It's extremely abusive. And to like get into it, like people are dropped after they get of age and things like that. We wouldn't have baby metal if the pop idol industry wasn't fucked. Because those were girls that aged out of pop idoling and were brought into like a metal band after that.
Yeah, and aging out, by the way, is 25, something like that.
It's usually earlier than that when it was like it used to be like sus fucking ages, like, oh, they're 17 now. Can't be an idol.
No, like even think about it. This is a little bit before, but right as Britney Spears was blowing up, she was on magazine covers at 16 being seductive and shit, and that was normalized.
Mm-hmm.
And that was just 25 years ago, 20, and that's really insane. But
no, we still talk about it. I mean, heck, Adrian, the other day we were talking about all the Harry Potter actors and Emma Watson. It's like there was almost a countdown in the press when she turned 18, so they could start sexualizing her. It was real. It was weird. Yeah,
and it's I didn't think anything of it at the time because I was younger than her, so it was okay for me to be attracted to her.
Well, yeah,
but you look back on it now, you're like, holy shit, yeah. And I was just listening to part of a podcast that Finn Wolfhard was on, and I remember, like, he's not a pop star, but like there was like people saying like, come back to me when you're 18, and he was like 14. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
That's weird. You can look at, I'm not defending the guy, but I understand why he turned out the way he turned out. Justin Bieber, people were making comments to him, touching him and stuff when he was 16 or younger even. It was odd. Maybe that's why he grew up and decided to make himself grody looking so people would stop touching him. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like
age consent in Japan is 13.
Yeah, Jesus. And this is right before a huge influx of stuff over in the States. Like, I'm sure those kinds of bands were prominent throughout the 90s in Japan, but right about this time is when we started getting NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, Aaron Carter, and stuff like that over here. So it was really kind of
grunge era in America.
I was like, okay, we got to have our own.
Where like with idols, they've been around for decades, but
so we all grew up in an era of like watching these teen stars grow and then burn out, a lot of them, and so
it's always been like that with Hollywood. You go back and look at like old Little Rascal stars who have just that's like seriously one of like the saddest things in Hollywood is what happened.
I really liked Little Rascals growing up too. We had VHS tapes.
Oh, I fuck with Little
I only
Rascals.
Watched the movie.
I fuck with the Little Rascals.
No,
I love
the OG black and white Depression era.
I love the OG
Prohibition.
Little Rascals.
That's cool.
And then
they're all messed up. What's her name? Judy Garland.
Yeah, Judy Garland.
Yeah, we could sit here. I mean, maybe it's gotten a little better with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and Christian Bale and some of them.
But then you also have Demi Lovato, who was addicted to heroin when she was 16 because of the industry.
Right. And then we'll see how all these YouTube kids like Ryan's World and all that. Let's see how they're going to turn. I can't wait for Ryan's World to see what that turns into.
I just bought a mystery box of heroin for my dealer. I wonder if it's black tar, China white.
Yeah. What's really messed up is I use, as a 30-year-old man, I use Ryan's World toothpaste. Let me explain. It's because my niece got it and didn't like the flavor. And then my mom was like, hey, you want this toothpaste? We're not going to use it. I'm like, yeah, I need toothpaste. All it is Colgate with Ryan on the front. But it's I've gotten so used to it because I got like 3 or 4 tubes.
Oh, so you've been buying more of it?
No. It was just
okay.
Like,
I was like, it's not a problem. It's not a problem until you run out of it and then buy more.
No, I've just been using it for like 6 months.
Well, on your Justin Bieber tooth tunes.
Yeah. Well, it's good. Wow. It lasts because I only brush my teeth once a week. So
Perfect Blue is about a pop star named Mima, and she's in a J-pop group of 3 chicks who are fairly popular, and they've got.
Are they? How popular are they? Do you think?
I mean, they're on magazine covers and shit.
Well, they at the beginning of the movie, they're on the verge of really being popular, and that's one of the things they talk about is like this is not making money. And then after Mima leaves, being older and wanting to branch out, they become extremely successful.
Right, that's what it is. And Mima's the weak link, and pushing her into acting is really just a way to get rid of her.
Yeah.
No, it's literally that she's probably under contract, and they don't want to break contract because breaching contract, you probably have to pay out that contract. And so they're like, we're gonna get as much work as possible. And then she goes into doing dramatic roles.
Which in this day and age, it's hard to see someone. I mean, they're selling shows and shit, so it's not like it's underground or anything. They're doing pretty well.
No,
yeah,
but
it looked like mall shows. It looked like they were doing them like at the Branson Landing.
Yeah, like Tiffany or something.
Yeah, like some kind of like it didn't look like they were doing stadium tours like our girls in fucking whatever stupid K-pop band is out there.
But nowadays. They do have at least a dozen big fans or something.
I do want to comment because one of the things that really kind of brings you to the element of this and like the trying to separate what's real and what's fake is like the very beginning of this movie starts off it's like a Super Sentai like extravaganza, and then you realize, oh, this is a stage show.
Yeah,
but it sweeps you in, and you're like, what the fuck am I watching? I remember the first time watching this, like, what the fuck's going on? I didn't realize it was like that.
Yeah, you're right, dude. That's a great way to immediately initialize the blend between reality and fiction. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, no, watching this, this is my second time viewing it. On a rewatch, a lot of that's more prominent. Kind of the build-up is more, you notice how Satoshi is constantly kind of escalating this blur. There's the show within a show, Double Blind, which is just Japanese NCIS.
But also it's like going through the same motions as the crimes that are happening in the real life, which I love. I do want to say that Satoshi Kon is a top 10 director for me. So I have been so fucking pumped about this podcast. Because I don't think we've done Satoshi Kon yet. But I love that they have the show within a show because the show mirrors the life. And there's a point when I was watching this for the first time where I couldn't discern if that show, those detectives were actual detectives in real life too, because the crimes were coinciding with each other. And you're like, oh, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah, it's supposed to be confusing.
Yeah. Which is why I love Kon. He does that with all of his films.
Yeah, a lot of people. Now, I should say, I should watch more Kon films. I've seen this. I've seen Tokyo Godfathers.
Only a couple.
I was going to watch more before this cast, but then I didn't. And this movie, I have a weird relationship with this movie. I like this movie, and I kind of want to like it more than I do. But in ways, the whole thing, I can't even explain why I feel it's undercooked or like it needs to be more. I guess
I want to say I have the contrast of I think it does so fucking much in that 81 minutes.
It does. And I'm not even disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly what my emotional disconnect is because I realize it's historic and that it's innovative for how it tackles its themes at the time, especially in the medium of anime. But there's something about it just not being invested, I guess, not caring enough about the characters. I feel detached somehow while watching it, but maybe that's part of the intended effect.
That's what I was going to say.
It's messing with reality so much that there is a sort of emotional detachment, even as something as like the simulated rape scene where you are disgusted, but at the same time, it's not real. I mean, it's doubly not real because A, you're watching a movie, and B, it's not even real in the movie.
And there's also something to do with Mima herself being, again, an idol. She doesn't seem like a real character for a lot of it.
No, she is. She's Hatsune Miku, sort of.
Exactly, like she's programmed by the state to confuse the rest of the citizens and coerce them into watching porn. But no, she doesn't have like this. Until later on when she's really starting to slink into the mental illness, she seems very cookie cutter, cut out, like doesn't feel real.
Yeah, very. She's not the smartest person. She's very kind of, she kind of just exists in a way,
Quintessential naive girl.
Yeah, so.
No, it's very much if this girl had been born I'm assuming this is set in Tokyo, but if she had been born in some small town, like that would have been it. She would just been not that there's anything wrong with this, but she just would have been working at some shop, like a convenience store,
right,
until her old age. That's all she would have been able to
do. I guess I didn't catch her age in it. She is 21 though, just to confirm.
Yeah. Okay.
So like just a little, I think pop idols usually go to about 18, 19, 20. Which is fucking gross.
No.
Well,
Lady Gaga, Katy Perry.
They start though at like 13. That's the big thing. Like a lot of pop idols.
But a lot of your fans are men in your 30s, at like 30 to 40.
Yeah, like the big stalker in this one.
It's a real thing. It's a real. I got digging into. I almost felt creepy because I'm doing this on my work computer and I was researching. No. I was researching idol culture in the other window before this cast, and I was like, dude, I don't think they track my activity here.
Scott, we need to have a meeting.
He's like, Scott, why are you?
Wait, are you a fan of the K-pop band Twice?
Yeah,
me too.
Yeah, jokes on me. The CEO of my company is a giant BTS fan.
Just super.
I get on a Zoom call with my boss, and he's wearing like a Baby Metal cosplay.
I do like how when we start this out though, again, it like slips into that dream of reality, but then it kind of makes it. You see the sinisterness of that one guy in the crowd, just like distant staring, because he's so much uglier than every other person on there.
They're not even close to being subtle with it.
No,
almost to the point where if this movie was made today, people would say it's almost body shaming in a way because of how unflatteringly they depict certain characters.
But I'm also wondering if he is that ugly or if that's just how he's like, I don't know. I guess he is that ugly. He's an animated character.
Well, also part of it is, if wash your face, dude. That's I
don't know. Think about shut in incel neckbeard motherfuckers.
It's pretty spot on for that. Fuck you, incels.
Yeah, I've seen those guys. I've seen that guy at some Smash tournaments. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, man.
I'm looking at 2 right now.
It's weird to me that she's willing to quit this pop idol life just for a chance of being an actor. It's not like she has some big project immediately in line. She's quitting it to do like a little small role, not even sure if she can get into bigger pictures.
I think she's almost tricked into it. Like that's what she wants. Because I don't think she really wants it. I don't think she really wants anything. I think she probably wants a normal life or just to like make people happy.
Yeah, I think that's.
But she got roped into this because she's on the phone with her mom, and her mom's like, "I thought you wanted to be a singer. What were all those singing lessons about?" And she goes along with things just because she doesn't want to upset people, even though she's the talent. She's working for this agency, not the other way around.
Yeah, those agencies are like notoriously bad. Any kind of corporations or anything in Japan are notoriously bad, for the most part. But like talent agencies, the contracts are really fucking bad. And it's interesting because like she's being manipulated by all the men around her. But then the one who sees herself in her, the ex-pop idol, Miss Rumi, fat ass. I'm sorry, not fat ass. She's not that fat. I just don't like her. But
in Japan for 97, I guess.
But it's interesting because she's like at the beginning of the movie, she's like, no, we don't want to have her leave because that's who she sees herself as.
Yeah, it's like, why does she have to leave the group to go be in some 2-bit fucking part in a movie?
I'm almost positive it's so that they've got contractual obligations with the company, and it's not making them money, but they also have contractual obligations with Mima. But they needed to get someone in who's a little bit more enthusiastic and young for this Cham, I think it's called.
Yeah, Cham. And they say in the movie it works better as a duo.
Yeah, and so like
I said, she was the weak link. They just needed to get her out of there.
Yeah. So they need to, 1, provide the money that Mima needs to earn for the studio, and 2, provide her with the chances and keep her locked into contract as humanly possible, so they own her basically.
Yeah. I just think
it's not like she made a ton of money. You see her apartment.
Yeah, that's true.
I just think of a studio apartment. Like a lot of them. I don't even know what a big apartment in Japan is. Like 700 square feet.
Yeah, not there's. I'm not gonna show my weebly. Never mind.
There's plenty of pop stars that have gone and done films and then come back and still be successful with their careers, like Lady Gaga for one. That's probably the biggest example right now. But then I think of like Harry Styles, who had that one part in Dunkirk and then that cameo in Eternals, and he hasn't done
Star Fox. God, I want to see him as Star Fox so bad.
Wait, you want to see him in Star Fox?
He plays Star Fox in the Eternals cameo.
No.
I'm not going to go into Eternals lore right now, but I will tell you who Star Fox is later. He's really cool.
I thought you were talking about Star Fox.
No,
I could give two shits about Eternals lore.
What I would do the meme comparison in my head is like these pop stars that do guest spots on like CSI or Law and Order. Like I've seen Justin Bieber get murdered on a CSI.
Oh yeah,
you know, like so that's what I think of. But she's really wanting to like make a name for herself and become like a serious dramatic actress.
That's like Elvis when he went to go make movies. Like that's really all he did for years, and he got sick of it. And boy, he cannot act either. So I don't know how that lasted so long. That poor guy sucks.
I do love a few of those movies.
They're so boring and fucking assembly line bullshit.
It's every time I see a scene from one, I'm like, there's no way I'm going to seek out this entire
Jailhouse Rock's all right.
I don't care enough about Elvis either to see any Elvis movie except Elvis.
See my we're not gonna get to Elvis either. I keep going off track. My family's big into Elvis, so it's like
bunch of parasocial parasites.
No, it's just and speaking of that, it's like this movie's kind of more relevant now because we're in an age of where parasocial relationships online are really bad and
encouraged,
especially
children strive for it. They want to be influencers. That's the number one.
Yeah,
it's the most like indulgent thing in society right now too. Like everybody thinks that they're a fucking influencer. Can't wait for the King of the Hill reboot where Bobby's an influencer.
No, but even like I'm watching a podcast and they're all laughing and then I'm laughing and I'm like, wait a minute, I feel like I'm like watching through a window on the outside. Why am I so emotionally invested in this? And it's fine to like get enjoyment out of stuff, but it's like I feel like I know some of these people, but I don't at all. I just watch their podcasts every week. You know, it's just like
it does feel weird whenever you're like think that you know people. God, yeah,
I know so much about certain people online just because I follow their stuff, and then it makes me feel weird. But
shout out to King Cobra, I love you, buddy.
Yeah, it's just I don't know.
That's why I'll never be a famous comedian. Is because I don't like showing my life. It's also because I'm not good at comedy. But no, I really think about it a lot because there used to be around the time this movie came up until I guess the advent of Facebook in the mid 2000s when it opened up past college students. There's this idea of don't give your real name online, don't give identifiable information. If there was some chick in the town next to us in Greenbrier that got, I don't know, murdered or something.
Oh, that is a classic story, man. I've heard that a billion times.
A classic story of a chat room murder.
Yeah,
stuff like that. And now it's encouraged. You're supposed to link all your socials. Everybody's supposed to be your own brand. Everybody says be your own brand.
Yep.
If you're a plumber, you're supposed to be your own brand. It's gotten to this point where not only have we had corporations commodifying young pop stars, we as a society have all become encouraged to commodify ourselves for these tech giants and these algorithms in a weird way, because that's where the economy is, and kids feel like if I want to break out of the 9-to-5, I have to do some sort of influencer adjacent career, whether or not I have any talent. That's the big one. So I can just, I don't know,
you can
Jake
become an
Paul it and
influencer,
troll people.
Like influencing, you could be an influencer because you're just hyper weird. Like you could, like there's a bunch of, I follow a lot of these kind of people.
Yeah, who's that t-shirt guy?
Roll t-shirts. Shout out to Josh. Please get your life together. I follow a lot of fucking lol cows who are influencers or content creators just on the fact that they are hyper fucking weird. Yeah, it's just too easy to get into this and make decent money at it.
I will say that the advent of TikTok and even before that is that I used to think I was weird until I spent enough time on the internet. I'm like, oh no.
We're not even close to the weirdest, like even those crumb. I watch some weird shit, dude.
I have a handful of eccentricities. Some of these people, I don't know how they function in life. I don't know how they hold down a job. Do they hold down a job?
No.
Do they just rob people?
A lot of people are they literally go on stream and just get donations, which is awesome. I wish I could do that.
Yeah,
I guess
the NPC that yes ice cream.
I hate that.
We're getting close to really scary fucking times.
No, like the Judgment Day needs to happen.
Yeah,
like I'm going full evangelical on this, and the end times need to happen.
I know, yeah.
And if I go to hell, that's fine, and it can't be worse than this.
The crazy part is that if you're not on social media, people think you're a weirdo now.
I got made fun of for not wanting to download TikTok. And then I think like a little while passed, like a year passed, and then people were like, yeah, I get it. But I'm still addicted to social media. I'm not even saying I'm above it. I'm still addicted to crap. And I still have my parasocial relationships. I started today listening to Bobby Lee's podcast. That's how I started my day, by listening to a chubby Korean man in LA talk with Mark Norman.
I've tried to limit my social media presence quite a bit as of late. I don't post quite as much, but I am on there. I find I like looking for events that are happening around me, and god damn it, I have a TikTok addiction when I'm at work. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I just app cycle. I just cycle through different apps without realizing what I'm doing. Just as a Skinner box.
And then I'll spend 22 hours watching King Cobra.
Yeah. So what we need to do, if Satoshi Kon was still alive, he's dead, right?
Yes. Yeah, he passed away.
Yeah, if he was making I don't know, NPC TikTok Perfect Blue sequel, that's what we need. That's what the world needs. But the star that burns twice as bright lasts half as long.
Yeah, this is definitely ahead of its time too, with like the fake blog and like her getting an email or whatever about how someone's putting up a link to like her apartment online or whatever, and she just doesn't even understand what it means, because that's how early she is to the internet. A lot of people
she doesn't even understand what it is. She's almost, at first she thinks it's entertaining, which is weird because I would be appalled immediately, but then she realizes how closely this person follows her life. And that was a real thing. I remember when I was in 6th grade, we had to write about our hero. So I wrote about Shigeru Miyamoto, and I went to like Miyamoto shrines. They were called shrines. They would have shrines to different like celebrities and stuff.
And
I remember
the right way to take you to a child porn site.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that. I remember once visiting a shrine for the guy who made Rurouni Kenshin, and we know how that story. I sent him an email that I didn't like something in one of the episodes.
Really?
I think so. I don't know.
Surprised didn't message you back.
Or it could have been some otaku guy.
Hey, I'm glad you didn't like that episode. Can you send me a picture of your feet?
Dude, chicks like Pokimane has to blur her feet on stream. I mean, I don't know why she doesn't just wear socks or something. But,
yeah.
Gotta
let the dogs breathe, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Part of it's like, I don't know, are you asking for it? They're just asking for it, being women on the internet. Okay.
I like that there's like a nice ramp up to the questioning reality portion of the film.
The rape scene is the crux of it.
Yeah.
To me on a second watch, it became much more evident that even though it's simulated, she dissociates, and it's done with the cinematography or animation or whatever you want to call it.
Yep.
And she dissociates, and that dissociation stays with her. And she has complex PTSD.
So do you think that's the start of her dissociative identity
I think
disorder?
She had what's it called? Psychotic or tendencies, like schizophrenic tendencies already, and that triggered it. Just like certain events can trigger things. Because high dosages of THC can trigger.
Yeah, I was thinking that maybe the adrenaline she was getting when she was reading that, because she's initially like, oh, someone's writing a blog about me, and then she's like, how the fuck did they know this? And then she's questioning as she's getting off the bus or train if she's stepping with her right or left foot, because she's curious to know if that person's going to write that in the blog. And so she's starting to think, did I actually write this? Or is this a version of me writing this? Because she seems to start to like question a lot of things towards the end of that.
But also she doesn't even when she first finds out about the blog, she doesn't even think that much into it at first. Me, I'd be freaked out. I'd fucking call the police or something.
She gets freaked out at like the end where like she starts she doesn't get like freaked out, but she starts to get worried about that. The one thing that got it was that minute fucking she got off on the train with her left foot. She's going to have a bad day.
Yeah, and even stuff like she got this brand milk from the store.
Happy cow
milk from the store. Yeah. There's stuff like that.
But also like she's just so easily going along with whatever her agents are telling her to do that it's like she feels like she probably has no control. At first she just goes along with the flow, it seems like. Almost like an empty vessel.
She doesn't know how to speak up for herself. Right. And part of that's being a woman and probably Japanese culture. You're not supposed to speak up as much. And I think it's something a lot of stars struggle with. But
as shitty as it was, that show The Idol had some promising aspects to it in terms of like abuse by the industry. About like being used by the people around you and not being able to speak up on it.
Yeah.
It was a shitty show, but
yeah, I think hopefully we're getting a little better with that, although I kind of doubt it. The death of celebrity and democratization of celebrity culture is a double-edged sword. I'm glad movie stars aren't. I don't know. Part of me wishes almost we could go back to a star system rather than a whatever branded content movie superhero Barbie, even though Barbie's really good, system we have now. But I mean, now we've gotten to this point where, and I also think that dissociation just starts when you don't have an identity, because dissociation is defined as an out-of-body experience when you're so focused on your public image. Like, you're always looking at your image. You can't reside in your own mind. You can't be mindful, as the kids today say. So, of course, it's going to mess with you if you're prone to delusions or hallucinations.
And the thing is that, first of all, it bums me out that she's so easily ready to do the rape scene. But
she is and she isn't.
I know, but the thing is about the scene is that it becomes such it turns so fast psychologically that you're watching it the whole time and you're like, well, at least it's all fake. It's for a movie, but reality's starting to blur. And I think the point of that scene is like, okay, she's still getting watched while this happens. She still feels violated. And even if it's pretend thrusting and her manager's crying and stuff, it's still a traumatic experience. So it's not that different from an actual rape, despite it being psychological. It's, just because there's not penetration there, it's still, that's the meta level.
The shit that fucks with me is like when they stop and the guy's just like, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of like, it was just scene. But also, I don't know if it's the way that they animated it, but you mentioned it, Scott. You could really tell like the dissociations, because it like the way it's filmed when she's being actively are raped in the scene.
Yeah, we can put a warning at the beginning.
Yeah, sorry.
Content.
Yeah, well, there's you gotta put a warning.
Yeah. While they're doing that scene and when she is being apologized to, it's like far off and voyeuristic whenever she's being actively harmed, and then whenever it's stopped, the scene is paused so they can move cameras. It goes back up to her face and it's a lot more personal. She's having a conversation or having words saying it's fine. This is a scene. So like the dissociation, you can tell at those times when they're going through, you're watching through monitors, you're watching it through the back, it doesn't feel like her.
Yeah, that sounds terrifying. Now
No,
imagine
dude.
preparing for a regular sex scene when you're surrounded by 75 people, you're undressed, you're probably sweaty under all these lights, and you're having to put on a show or act. And that's just for a normal sex scene. Now you put sexual assault on top of that. I can't even imagine. Especially when you're so new into fucking acting. Like,
and she doesn't understand like that's gonna typecast her or ruin her career.
yeah.
It's one of those where they have intimacy coordinators on set whose job it is to supervise I almost said rape scenes, sex scenes in general, and they even have body doubles a lot. And the whole point of this is not for a Lars von Trier movie where she's like really into it for the art. This is just for some garbage direct to video, basically softcore porn.
Yeah. Well, to like discuss about like just like the real life implications or things like similarly that happened in the first season of Game of Thrones. Daenerys, played by Emilia Clarke, is raped by Khal Drogo because they're forced into a marriage, and she absolutely did not want to do these scenes. And the only person that would make her feel, because they wouldn't even get her a fucking robe to put on after these scenes, and fucking Jason Momoa would be the only person to step in and be like, get her a fucking robe, or we're fucking done filming. And so like people just don't take like the effects on it, because like she says from now on, like after the second season, she refused to do any kind of nude scenes or any scenes like that because of how mad they made her feel on that first season. Like you have to be delicate with shit like this.
You do, and I'll ask you, Casher. I haven't watched Game of Thrones. Don't plan on it. How necessary is all this gratuitous nudity in Game of Thrones?
It's not necessary for the most part. The guys the showrunners of that are fucking idiots. They don't know how to write women very well. There are scenes that like, yeah, this works, but like, no, I don't need to see a prostitute being fucked every 2 episodes.
Well, let me ask you, what do you guys think of the nudity in this movie and how it's used? Do you think it's used intelligently, or do you think it's almost hypocritical because it can be titillating in its own regard?
I don't think it's titillating in the slightest.
No, all the nudity in this, besides like the photo shoot that she does, and even that feels disgusting because he's just like sweating and like I think Satoshi Kon is really saying something about the industry and how he feels about it, because he makes every scene that has nudity in this make you sick to your stomach.
That, or I also, it's very purposeful. It's very, I think if you're titillated by this, then you're oversexed.
Let's go to therapy, buddy.
No, I'm just saying, like, where there's a ongoing topic lately, especially this week, on the internet, of why Gen Z are so like scared of sex scenes in movies lately. And if it works for the movie, it works. And people are freaking out about the sex scene in Oppenheimer and this and that, and when it's obviously important to the film. And it's like weird that these younger folks are being weirdly prudish about that kind of stuff. If it works for the film, it works for the film. Why are people so scared of sex? I think this movie it's just animated nudity. I don't see like it's sure. I think it works really well for what it's trying to say film wise. I don't know.
And he talked about the whole Gen Z being scared of sex scenes and things like that. And you see like Sydney Sweeney being abused on the set of Euphoria, and the disgusting things that what's his name? I can't remember.
Sam something.
Levinson? Is it
that
Levinson?
guy's a fucking pervert.
Yeah,
I love that show. I've never seen that show, but like any show that sexualizes high schoolers to that degree, and I'm not saying admitting that high schoolers have a sex life, like that's fine. But I'm saying anything that straight up sexualizes underage characters like that, I have no interest in watching. There was
something going on there.
I watched all of it. I didn't like the scenes where they over sexualized. I do think like everybody has sexuality throughout high school and things like that, but they did overdo it quite a bit.
Right.
It's one of Zendaya's best roles ever. Probably her best role. But going back to Sydney Sweeney though, she basically was like, I won't work another nude scene in this show, essentially. and almost got fired because of it. Barbie Ferreira, I think is her name. She plays Kat in it, and she left the show because of.
Well, yeah, but you can't let sex perverts like Sam, whatever his name is, ruin nudity in film. Like they're like, obviously he's a fucking problem.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, there's directors that are fucking problems, but then then you have directors who are doing it in an artful manner, but they're also respectful with their takes. Like I was explaining with Emilia Clarke not being offered a robe after she's been doing this and she's having to sit naked for however long until Jason Momoa comes up and goes, get a fucking robe.
Which is so basic. And I do feel like the industry, it has to be getting better. The fact that we're talking about this Euphoria guy even, and how sketchy he is.
We'll see how long his career lasts after The Idol being canceled before its final
well, that is the thing. It's like people are held to shit much more or much easier in the social media age. That is one plus, is that people are going to rally around people like celebrities if they're getting treated like this. And but I think the nudity in this film helps emphasize how uncomfortable you're supposed to feel and how bad you are supposed to feel about what's going on. So
right.
Yeah.
And that maybe the viewer, next time they pick up a magazine with a lingerie model, they can maybe think more about that model as a person and not just as an image.
And I think a lot of
AI generated models.
I do think a lot of our American audiences just in general only see nudity as like this sexy, fun thing. But like there's a lot of the films that I watch that have nudity they're part of like very intense, visceral moments that just leave you like,
yeah, it's about being emotionally naked. That's what Oppenheimer is.
Yeah. Right. And that also I see mostly comments on these kinds of posts and discussions of like, why are Americans so weird about nudity? And that's a good question. But also fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say.
I think it's odd. No, I think that's a good point. And I think it's odd that I didn't know that apparently Gen Z, whatever that fucking means, but Gen Z is like nervous or doesn't like sex scenes in movies. And it depends. And I'm not even saying every sex scene needs to fade to black. I think a lot of them should. But the idea that they have access to all this porn and always really have, and that TikTok is so sexualized, with the D'Amelios and the Addison Rae and whoever these dancing chicks are. It's softcore porn. That's what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it's being used as that in countries where porn is actually outlawed. That's why like ASMR chicks on Twitch and YouTube are big, because it's popular in countries like Turkey where porn is illegal. But it's weird. It's almost like, are they uncomfortable with I feel like a lot of Americans are uncomfortable with an honest expression of sex, but they're okay with a joke about it or a commodified or pornographic, because sex is shameful. So it's supposed to be something you like do real quick and then shove down. No pun intended.
This is neo-Puritanism. And
I do think go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's just it's interesting that a lot of these younger folks will more than likely jerk off to hardcore porn, but like a simple sex scene in a movie, a tasteful sex scene, makes them uncomfortable. And I'm wondering if this is a weird psychological effect that we have not really been able to see the full effect of having such accessible hardcore porn available to us since we were young, starting with our generation, like 12, 13 years old, looking at stuff we shouldn't have been looking at. And I'm not an anti-porn person, but I will say I wish I could go back in time and not have my 13-year-old self watching the stuff I was watching. And you mix that with the religious trauma a lot of American younger folks have because of the way they were brought up around the church and the shame that they're taught surrounding sexual desires. And it's a weird mix that might be deep down in the psyche and they don't even realize it, and then it bubbles up. And why do they feel uncomfortable about this?
And I don't know, and that's, first of all, that's why I only jerk off to claymation porn. But secondly,
cracking toes.
200,000. This comes out to 200,000 man hours.
Fantastic, Mr. Cox.
But No. I mean, Japan, I don't know enough other culture. I've never visited there, let alone lived there. Has its own weird version of sexuality because the joke is either Japanese people's genitals are naturally blurry or all porn is censored there, yet also weirdly rapey. They have their own rape culture. You have the upskirts, I'm not even going to go into it. Panty vending machines. We know.
We know.
There's a lot of repression in Japan.
Yeah, repression definitely, which is weird. Such an atheistic society.
And they're also they've always been a very sexual society in general. Like there's literally like 1,000-year-old porno images of tentacle porn.
Yeah, but isn't that I mean, not the tentacle porn, but isn't that everywhere? You know,
I don't know. There's
in old Roman cities there would be like penises drawn on the walls pointing you to brothels. You know,
it's I don't know why it's always been, but also in Rome, like sex was not just like a
Rome's different. Rome's Rome.
Yeah, Rome's fucking broed up, dude. Like
dude.
we won that war. Yo, we won that war. I'm gonna stick my dick in your butt, dude. Yeah.
Salt the earth.
I think with the newer generations coming out, I think especially with like how film's been going, we've got we just did Red Rocket, and like the rest of his films in his repertoire very pro sex work and sexuality. We're getting more and more films like that because I think we're at a point where like, man, sex work's real work, but also sexuality shouldn't be stigmatized or anything like that. But like, I don't know, it is weird to see how some people react to scenes like this, and it's I'm like in the fucking movie theater if I ever watch this, just making sure no one's bricked up next to me.
Oh, first time I watched this was in the movie theater, by the way, with coworkers.
Cool, man.
Yeah, that's
how I got to see Tokyo Godfathers was actually the last movie I saw in theaters before COVID lockdowns, which was cool.
Sick. Yeah,
but cool. It's interesting. I wouldn't say we do follow her after this, get more and more projects and sexy photo shoots and stuff like that, and a lot of people kind of criticize her in this movie, at least on the surface it seems like, but I wouldn't say it's like overtly negative, like shame.
No, so she gets those 4 episodes with the double bind that somehow coincide with real life murders, and the ending of the double bind arc she's on is like almost identical to the arc that's happening in real life. But then she gets that sexy photo shoot, and there's people who are like, and it's the fucking 30-year-old incels who are like, how dare they tarnish my beautiful Mima? Now everybody knows the spoils of war. And so it's like, most people you'd be like, oh yeah, she does sexy photo shoot, good for her. Like that. She's getting in tune with her body. She's comfortable with her body enough to share with us.
Well, it's just showing how much ownership people have over
entitlement.
Oh God, there was some chick, I don't even remember. She went viral with some TikTok or something, and I think she was doing some anime related thing. And all these guys were into her, and they were thinking she was funny. And she casually dropped that she had a boyfriend. And everybody unfollowed her and dropped her and was like, F you.
That's actually so fucking funny, though. Like,
yeah, it's bad, but
it's so funny.
It's dark. Well, that's the thing. It's this Madonna whore complex where it's like, I want you to be a whore, but only for me.
Yeah. What kind of weird entitlement is that?
Yeah. That's
and that's how this guy is, the stalker guy, when he like buys out all those copies of her like nude spread in that magazine because he doesn't want anyone else to buy it.
I was waiting for a Ray, like fucking.
Yeah, but there's a conspicuous lack of Tindies in this.
No chalky milk.
Yeah.
And one of the more interesting aspects of the film is that we see both her. She has her persona is like her pop version of herself that she starts seeing and talking to, kind of. And then we see the stalker also have the same kind of persona. And it's like the way it starts to manifest, it's like these two personas are pretty much the same, but for two different people. I don't know. It's a
well, that's because it is the public persona projected by these talent agencies, where it's not the real her, but she feels like it is. And by returning to her real self, by not doing it anymore, that's where she feels dissociative. It reminds me of what Kevin Smith went through recently. You know, he said he became so confused between his public and private selves that it caused him to have a mental breakdown.
Yeah,
well, I mean, that's what's happened with a lot of actors. It's what happened with like Heath Ledger and Not Discerning Reality.
George C. Scott didn't know who he was, and he was, I mean, certifiable. You know, obviously one of the greatest comic actors of all time, but just absolutely unstable. Which is why
it's funny though. With this whole, I think it's called a folie à deux. Just the shared psychosis.
Right.
Rumi obviously has the upper hand on Mania. He doesn't have a name. I'm just gonna call him Mania.
It is Mania.
Okay. It was like Rumi's got that like hold over him because she's able to get that fucking voyeuristic view of the real Mima. And I'll tell you what, one of the best scenes in this film is whenever she knocks on the door for that photographer, and it's like her in the pizza outfit. The guy's like, "You're a weird pizza man," and she just like stabs the fuck out of him in the eye. I forgot about that scene and was like,
yeah, dude, that's gnarlier than some of the slasher movies that have come out recently.
It was brutal.
It was like something out of X or something. You know, I don't know. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's really well animated and choreographed, and it has like classic horror tropes, like classic slasher tropes, like throughout that. And the fact that we still didn't know that was Rumi. Like if you're watching this for the first time, my first time watching it, I was like, Mima's been doing this the whole fucking time.
Yeah.
Like she was that crazy. But in reality it was Rumi, with the way that they like fucking masked her face and like made her body more slender. It's like he's taken reality and dreamlike states and fucking the audience up with it.
Yeah,
I love that shit.
The obvious way would have been, okay, she's been the one killing everybody, but there's that rug pull where it's like, no, here's what's actually going on. And Darren Aronofsky bought the rights to this movie because of his movie Black Swan being so similar to this. I think this is more successful than Black Swan when it comes to the psychological elements. And so,
how successful is it on the Mila Kunis, Natalie Portman girl-on-girl scene?
Yeah, see, that's another point. It's like, that's such a fucked up scene in the movie. And I remember at the time, weirdo fucking guys were like, "Oh yeah, this is so hot," and I'm like, "Do you not know the context of the movie?" And
no, they don't. That was a Mr. Skin scene for them.
Yeah. Oh shit, I forgot about Mr. Skin. But that's a good point. And Game of Thrones and other scenes, I would see gifs and images come up. I remember, and everyone would talk about them, and then I would actually see them within the context. I'm like, what the fuck are these people doing?
Yeah.
People don't know how to contextualize. Or maybe they're into it. Also, there's creeps.
Yeah.
I agree.
But yeah, that's really strange.
I do love the climax of this though, whenever Mimania does attack her in the studio after everybody had left. And she gets that one hit on him with a rock hammer and it collapses him. But more so what I like is that she wakes up in a room that's similar to hers, but then she notices a subtle difference.
Yeah, that's fucked up, dude.
That's so terrifying. That's terrifying.
Like that concept alone is scarier than like most movies to me.
Well, it's like the old boy concept of being kidnapped or put in a room and kept alive for 7 years. Like that concept scares the shit out of me. But this also, you're brought into a room of the person who's been murdering everybody and has wanted to murder you now because you've tarnished Mima, to wake up to that and we'd be like, try to call. Here, wait, like this is not my fucking room. This is my apartment.
Yeah, I wonder if because I looked up, I looked up what year Selena died. It was 95. I wonder if that had any influence on this movie.
With like Yolanda?
Yeah.
You want to talk? You guys want to talk about Selena? I love Selena.
If you want to.
What is the deal with Selena? I know she's a singer who died.
She was a Chicano singer who was bringing Chicano music to the United States through like Mexico to Texas back in the 90s. And she had a fan club ran by Yolanda Salazar. If you're from Lower Texas or grew up in Lower Texas, this is like put on your birth certificate. You have to know this shit. And I was born in Corpus Christi. And Yolanda Salazar didn't like where the direction that Selena was going and was also stealing money from her. And Selena confronted her. And so Yolanda shot and killed her.
She's like her number one fan.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I
My
mean,
mom, fun fact, my mom used to do the travel booking and used to know Yolanda Salazar.
Wow.
Fucking
That's crazy.
My mom was a huge Selena fan.
Yeah, to me, that's like, I wonder if that was a international news story or just like North America.
Selena?
Yeah.
That was all over the world, my friend.
Okay, so I think that had to have some sort of influence, maybe.
That was maybe, but also deal. That story alone is so archetypal. You know, crazed fan attacks.
Yeah.
Or it's like the guy, what's his name? He's on YouTube now. Guy
Mark
who
David Chapman.
Guy who tried to shoot Reagan.
Yeah.
Mark David Chapman, wasn't it?
Oh, was that him?
I think so.
Anyway, guy who tried to shoot Reagan to impress Jodie Foster.
Playing music. Yeah, fucking I listen. I get people wanting to be like, oh, he tried to shoot Reagan.
No, sorry, John Hinckley Jr., Mark David Chapman.
John Hinckley Jr., yeah, that's it.
Mark David Chapman killed Lenin based.
But
John Hinckley Jr.
You said based.
Yeah, fuck John Lennon.
Shut the fuck up, asshole. People forget about the Jodie Foster part, and they're like, "Oh yeah, this guy's cool. He tried to shoot Reagan." First of all, that's a weird thing to say. Even if I don't like Reagan, don't.
No, it is cool that he tried to shoot Reagan. It's not cool that he wanted to fuck Jodie Foster.
Do you think Agnew? Do you think Agnew would have been a better president than Reagan? Agnew's is like VP, right? Yeah, I know that.
I don't fucking know.
No, Agnew is
the bottom half of Nixon's.
Yeah,
right,
Nixon's.
right.
Yeah, no, but I think that is a problem that is still prevalent today. Is when people get disillusioned when they meet a celebrity in public. Also, celebrity harassment, constantly wanting to take selfies and stuff like that. And
I love seeing celebrities really shut that shit down, to be honest with you. Like,
but also like
respect to it.
We've also in the last 15, 20 years, we've really made a weird sort of culture of like cons where celebrities, once they're kind of has-beens, or not all of them, but like they travel around to cons. It's almost like a zoo where everyone gets to walk and point and take pictures.
Yeah, I don't like cons for that reason.
I like cons to buy
it's really
merch.
Weird. It's like a monkey at a zoo or something. I don't know.
I'm too stingy to buy merch, and certainly to pay to shake hands with the guy. That's the thing. I saw Stan Lee in 2014 or something at Wizard World New Orleans. And it was cool, but I'm like, I'm not going to stand in line and pay $80 just to shake his hand once.
Yeah, it's not my cup of tea.
Get a thing signed.
I would have definitely paid $80.
But that's how pathetic these people are.
Well, it's not pathetic, man. You resonate with characters, and you really
but also they're not Kino like us. They're watching cave shit.
Yeah, you're telling me
no.
You're telling me if like fucking Tarkovsky was sitting at a fucking con. It was like $50 for an autograph.
I think it's Parker was like, she would love to go to the con that's coming up in Little Rock so she can meet Jim Cummings. I'm like, you realize you have to get something signed that costs fucking hella money. And she's like, oh, never mind. I don't know. It depends on like if you support, like, I don't know. It's almost like a level.
I'd love to talk to Sam about this because I want to know why he likes doing that.
Yeah,
I get what the reason why people do it. It's just
Sam just likes merch.
I would do that if I went to the Adult Video Network Awards.
No, see, like
that's gotta be worse, dude. Those chicks must be. I mean, you have to have bodyguards. All those chicks have to have a gun in their bra.
That's like me and Scott went to Screw Attack Gaming Convention in 2014, but that was like a lot of smaller YouTubers. It's not like these high-end celebrities. So it's not like we're worshiping these people. It's just like, oh, we're going to listen to these people talk about their shit and like see them. And I don't know. I feel like it was different because it was
a bit different. But do you remember there was one guy wearing khaki shorts, I remember, who was kind of following around Rocco of Mega 64, not even in a real creepy way. Do you remember that?
Fucking lame.
Like, I remember he would just kind of like follow him around at a distance, but I don't even know if anybody noticed, but that seems to be what was happening. It was weird.
Adrian, were you following around Rocco Bodie?
Yeah.
No.
And it was Adrian the whole time.
No, but it was interesting that just people are just people. I know we have a problem of putting all these people on a pedestal is the point.
No, and James Rolfe needs to not be on a pedestal.
No.
One of the
Not
things
at all.
that one of the things that really allowed me to realize that like a lot of the musicians and artists that I like are just fucking people was like I go to a lot of these music festivals, and a lot of the time you'll be at your campsite. When we were at like Electric Forest, we had like 4 of like big name artists that I really enjoyed. They were just walking campsites because no one really knew who they were. They would sit down and chat with us at our campsite for hours, just fucking kicking it. And so it's like, oh, these people just want to have fun too, so they don't let people know where they're at and just kind of walk around incognito.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's why Garth Brooks has Chris Gaines, so people don't know who he is.
Where are the bodies, Garth?
Yeah. That's got to be annoying as hell. Talk about running to the ground.
I do love the whole scene though, where Rumi and she gets that stab on Mima, which looks like it hurts. Like doesn't look like a good stab.
Yeah, it's real bloody.
And then the way that it's depicted of her just like skipping towards Mima, it's like cute but terrifying.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's like fuck. It's like
and then you see the reflection where she's just sweating like a hog.
Yeah,
they make
so
Rumi
good.
look so unflattering in this at the end. And then she's like finally gets away. Rumi's like fucked up, you know, and she stands in front of the bus that's coming towards her, and she's like, my final act. And you're like right about to die. And then Mima makes me like Mima a lot, like fucking saved her life. Like,
yeah,
I like that the murderer, who obviously has mental health issues, isn't just being fucking killed or just killed. Like she's gonna go end up hopefully being rehabilitated at some point.
Sure. And I think the movie brings up the idea, not on the surface, but the idea of like your true self versus yourself as perceived by other people, and how valid that version of yourself in other people's minds can be. And some could see that as like completely equal to your version of yourself in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And
I think they're about equal.
Yeah. So
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that Mima saved Rumi not because she wanted to save Rumi, but because she thought it was still herself?
No, I think she was just doing the right thing.
Okay. Because I started thinking about that. I was like, what if she thinks that that's the part where like that's her pop idol part? Like if she lets that die,
as
it's gone.
Dumb as Mima is, she is a good person deep down, and you see that she really cares about people.
Have you guys seen the dub of this? By the way,
I listened to the dub a little bit. I don't like it as much.
I was gonna say I don't really like any. There's a couple dubs of Satoshi Kon's work I like. I was just curious.
No, I didn't watch the dub, but I will say I like the escalation of. There's like several rug pulls when it comes to what's going on and what's reality. Like, and it's brilliantly cut. Like when she's killing Murano, and then while she's killing Murano, it's flashing between all of the nude scenes she's been doing.
Yeah, fuck.
Emphasizes the psychological state really well. And then you wonder if she shares this persona with the stalker. this whole time, or what's going on with that. And then she finds the bloody clothes, et cetera, et cetera. And then the mind fucks continue as it gets deeper, and they start talking about her multiple personality disorder. And you're like, oh, they're finally getting down to this. Nope, it's just another goddamn scene that she's filming. What the fuck?
Yeah, no, I know. That's what I was talking about. It mirrors like what should be happening. It's fucking awesome.
But then there's a like almost like a reverse rug pull when the confrontation with the like maniac. It's like, I don't know. There's like everything is up in the air in the last 20 minutes. And that's what I think is so cool about it. Cause you're just like, what the fuck is going on? And this isn't the only movie, obviously, to blend reality, especially with like the active filmmaking within the plot. And I will say there's a film that takes this concept to an insane level that is really hard to kind of get into, but overall worth it. And it's David Lynch's Inland Empire. That's probably his most experimental, hard to get into film, but it's kind of similar to this. But I will say 3 companion movies. For this movie, I would say Mulholland Drive, American Psycho, and then Inland Empire. And they're all like this. But this one
also, hey, don't forget, there's one more to it. The movie Uncle Buck.
Oh, okay. Here we go.
Hey, why is this movie called Perfect Blue?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I was looking for it.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I saw a couple different explanations, but nothing definitive.
Pāfekuto Burū. Oops.
Yeah.
That's how they say it.
I don't know. I think it's really well put
Blue
together 80-minute movie.
Represents the color of otaku balls and how perfectly blue they are from idol culture.
I guess I didn't realize this was a novel.
Yeah, it was a novel. Novel's very different though. It doesn't have any of the reality building stuff. I think
I'm just wondering if there's something in there that Perfect Blue makes sense.
I guess. I think blue might be a happiness. I heard it means happiness in Japan, which is interesting. I always thought it means sadness in Western culture, but I can see how it's tranquil. They're an island or archipelago or whatever you call it.
I do love the ending of this, like the very final scenes though, where she sees Rumi in the mental hospital, and she's hearing 2 nurses talking about her. They think that she's a look-alike, but her at the end, she smiles to herself. She's like, "No, I'm real." Like, okay, crazy bitch.
But is she?
Yeah, at one point before we get the reveal that it's her, whatever her name is, behind everything, you get to almost a point where you're wondering if even the film shoots themselves are part of the illusion. Mm-hmm. If she's that deep in her psychosis or whatever. And so, yeah, I think it's interesting, the idea of like, okay, we're both sharing this sort of whatever it's called, delusion.
Folie à Deux, also an album by Fall Out Boy.
Oh, nice. So I think if there's any sort of moral to take away from this, though, it's that if you're a celebrity, don't get fat.
Gonna G. Kelly Clarkson. I'm sorry, that was mean.
Yeah, no, you look. We've become better about it, but you look at. There's a photo of Britney Spears in 2005 where it was criticized that she was fat, and you look at it now and you're like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Well, that's part of that as a culture we've gotten hedonistically fat, because you have stunt foods of like, let's put a piece of cake in an ice cream milkshake.
No,
that was back. No, there was like a style back in that generation where it was like unhealthily skinny Kate Moss.
Yeah, there really was. I think in like turn of the century. And
like,
it goes through
smoke cigarettes and barely fit in our clothes, and that's
the 20s were like that.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, I think hip hop culture really changed things. So being big is beautiful now.
Thanks, Lizzo.
Yeah, it's just
Cashers into it.
there's still a lot of problems, but I think it is slowly getting better with not.
Yeah, but women don't get fat though, for real.
Shut the fuck up.
Or you can be fat like Lizzo and then body shame your own employees.
Okay, what if Lizzo wanted to be the fattest?
What if
she's like,
Lizzo's
hey,
just
don't get
based
fatter than me?
fuck?
I'm the fat bitch here. All right, look at me. I'm the fat woman.
Yeah,
I smell so bad.
Men can get fat. That's fine.
yeah. This movie's definitely ahead of its time, and I would recommend it over Black Swan. But also, yeah, definitely check out this and American Psycho and Inland Empire. Those are
And just all of Satoshi Kon's work, period.
Well, yeah, he only has 4 movies. It's easy. Just go watch
and,
the rest
and
of his shit.
Paranoia Agency.
I know.
And
I said movie.
and 3 episodes of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure from the 80s.
Okay, no one cares about JoJo's, but
Okay,
yeah, I do need to watch Paranoia Agent. But
it's fucking sick.
yeah, there was one movie he was working on that was unfinished before he died, and I can't remember what it was called. But
Can't remember the name of it either.
Inception.
I would have loved to see it.
Duke Nukem Forever.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for
rest
listening,
in peace,
everybody.
Satoshi Kon.
Rest in peace, Satoshi Kon. Thanks for listening, everybody.
Fuck you, Lizzo.
Yeah, I guess so. Crazy bitch. All right. Peace out.